welcome to everybody who's joining us for the live. We're gonna wait just a few seconds to give people time to get on. We just wanted to do this video to answer some questions that we were asked on the last video that we put up, the one where I was talking, and then you had a couple questions on your video as well. So we wanted to just jump on here for a few minutes or so to address some of the questions. So as you guys are coming in, just kind of comment and, let us know where you're watching from if you want to do that. Let us know how you found out about this. We're trying to figure out how you guys are finding out about the videos. Are you finding out through YouTube? Do you have our notifications turned on? Are you following us on Instagram, Morgan's IG? Plug, all of these are plugs. We just putting it out there.
Wait, and you don't have a Facebook page?
We don't have Facebook, no, but the IG.
Yeah, but you said Facebook.
Did I say Facebook?
I think you did.
I don't think I said Facebook. But yeah, so that's what we want to know as you guys are joining in with us. So yeah, let's see here as we look through the questions. Which question do you want to start with? And if you guys haven't seen the video while you finding the questions, if you haven't seen the latest video, what's the name of the video?
Why should I? 3 reasons to say.
3 reasons to. Steven, what's up, man? I know you. You'll be on other on the live Tuesdays. Yeah, man. So, Sheila, how you doing?
Hey.
So, if you haven't checked out the video, 3 reasons to stay. Happy marriage, happy life. Be sure to check that one out after this if you haven't watched that, and that's pretty much the basis.
And then we had a question from mine, 3 tips.
Yeah, 3 tips for growing a marriage. If you haven't seen that one, please be sure to check that one out as well. So yeah, we can jump right in. Well, I'll give some more people time to.
Well, let's just read the questions.
You want me to read the questions? Are you gonna read them? You want me to read them?
I'm just trying to pull the things up over there.
Okay, so all right, so let's
I'm very nervous for some reason.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know.
Why are you nervous? All right.
I'm afraid.
We're not gonna read the people's names, but we had some questions. We wanted to make sure that we address these questions. Was it one you want to address first, or?
I think let's just jump right into, because I know this one is a little bit more.
Which one?
That one. I'm sorry, my hand is in
Your
the way.
hand is in the way, yeah.
That question right there. I think that one is. We can get that one last.
Okay. This one is the one you want to do first.
We can do that one or the one from your video. Sorry, guys.
We're trying to get through these questions because I want to make sure that we want to make sure that you guys know we weren't ignoring the questions. Just in case the people are not watching live, I know you're going to watch it in the replay, so we wanted to make sure we did answer these questions. And just in case some of you guys ask us some questions as we're going, we don't want to miss the main questions that were asked on the videos. All right, so I'm actually thinking about ending my marriage of 18 years. I just don't know what to do anymore. I'm at my wit's end. I spend most of my days crying and asking God for a solution. My husband has been unfaithful to me several times throughout this course of our relationship, which is 21 years old. That's a long time. He doesn't have sexual relationships with these women. However, he uses them to rub his ego. He loves to feel like he's a king. I feel that I've been a good wife to him. I became a stay-at-home mom, made our house a home. I catered to his needs, and he still cheated. I admit I don't do any of those things anymore because I'm just so tired. We had a problem a couple of months ago for the same reason. He was having inappropriate conversations with a couple of females that he dated in the past on Facebook. So how do I stay? That's a very, 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 very interesting situation. You wanna chime in first?
I want you to chime in first because we talked about this already, and I think you had some really interesting points.
Well, there was a few things that I noticed here. I think the first thing, that the unfaithful thing and the cheating thing, and the biggest thing I think that stood out to me with this particular concern, was the fact that what's considered cheating and what's not considered cheating. And I'm not saying that this isn't considered cheating, but I think the biggest thing that stood out to me is the communication factor. Because what came across to me is, at some point, just being married so long, at some point, something seemed to have been deemed okay, in my opinion. Something seemed to have been deemed okay. And I'm not making any excuses for any action. So these are just our opinions. And let me make this disclaimer before we get too far into this video. We are not counselors or anything like that. We're just married, and we fought through some difficult times in our own relationship. But one of the things, and I'll say it this way, I'll answer that concern this way. One of the things that really helped us early on in our relationship, some of it even before we got married, was kind of setting boundaries and really defining. And of course, we had to redo some stuff and revisit some things as we went along. But some things that really helped us early on in our marriage is really defining. Like, she would tell me when we started dating in college, because I was just, everybody always kind of knew, well, people who knew me from back home knew me as really silly and really goofy. So I would like just be silly and goofy with females. And I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
But once we first got together, she communicated to me, hey, I don't like that. I don't like that, because to me, it feels like it's flirting. And one thing she brought to my attention, you don't know, from the female perspective, they could think that means they have a shot,
yeah.
Or, you know, to them, it could be coming across as flirting. Even though you mean it and it's innocent to you, they may enjoy it and may see it as flirting. So once she gave me her perspective, and because I respected her perspective, I had to.
You wanted growth.
Yeah, I wanted, like, she was somebody I've definitely seen a long-term situation, even in the dating stages. She was someone I seen a long-term relationship with. So I wanted to make sure that I honored her request. Like, it wasn't easy, because that was I'm
who you were.
a part of my personality. Now I'm addressing, like, okay, this is just what I do. So like, initially it went, okay, that's cool, I'll do exactly what you want. Of course, there was an argument at first, because now I'm defending who I am. You know, naturally, as a human being, this is who I am. You know, people know me to do this, and we just play like it don't mean anything to me. To you, it may not mean anything, but to that other person, it's hurtful. And anyone that you love, anyone that you say you love, you don't want to do anything that continues to hurt that person. But first, this person has to know that this is really hurtful to me, because you can't harbor it in your heart and just unload on this person every time they do something, but you haven't done the work to communicate to them that, hey, I don't like XYZ. I don't like the idea of you having outside conversations with other females other than me. Inappropriate conversations, you know, and that in the relationship, of course, you guys have your own way of how you handle that. But I think one of the biggest things, I said a lot, but one of the biggest things I'm getting to is you have to make sure that that communication is clear. If you guys are getting started in a relationship or getting started in a marriage, you have to make sure that that communication is clear up front, and you have to let the other person know, I'm not cool with that. And then another thing that helped me there with our relationship, we had this thing early on where we say, okay, put yourself in my shoes and you tell me how you would like it if I was, you know, flirting with these other guys or having a good time joking with all these other guys in your face. How would
that one particular time your ex, when we were dating, called your mom's house, and you answered the phone and she was trying to get back with you, and I was like, why would you do that?
Yeah, stuff we don't think anything about. It's like it's those little things, and a lot of times, one of the things that really irritates me about people getting divorced, most of the time it's over something small, something that could have been avoided, and it's just a lack of communication. And these things just keep getting avoided and keep getting avoided until they become this big problem, and now you forget how the thing even came about. And so now it's like, y'all talking about divorce, y'all talking about separation, because from what I'm reading there, the part about, you said he doesn't have sexual relationships with these women. He uses them to rub his ego. That part stood out to me as well. it made me feel, and I hope this don't come across like I'm trying to point a finger. I'm just trying to give a different perspective so that maybe before you end it all, you can at least look at it from another perspective. Now, this doesn't excuse what he did, but maybe you can look at it from a different perspective. If he's looking to other people, other women to boost his ego, why is he doing that? Because most dudes, like, if you're getting, some dudes, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of dudes that are just straight up selfish and, you know, we just gonna, just the dog in us is gonna do certain things. But once you get to a certain point and you know what you have is valuable and that certain things have been communicated to you in a relationship, it's like, me personally, I'm not willing to take that chance on losing what I've worked. If I have a lot invested, I'm not willing to just cash in my chips and lose everything just on something, you know.
Just to have a conversation.
Now, if it's something where a dude is seeking attention or seeking that validation, that might be love language for him. He needs affirmation, words of affirmation on a consistent level. If a dude is not receiving, or if a female is not, if that's one of their main primary love languages and they feel like they're not getting it, they're going to seek it.
Find it somewhere
they're going to find it somewhere else. And it's like, it might be a cry for attention in a negative way, because obviously you're saying in this particular post that this dude is not having sexual relationships. It's just maybe I want to feel like I'm important. I want to feel like I matter. I want to feel like you think of me as a king when I come home, or, you know, I want to feel like you really, really value me.
Yeah.
Outside of me just bringing home the bacon, or outside of me just being your husband, or whatever the case may be. I want to feel like you're actually attracted to me. Like you really think, like, every now and again, I'll say things to my wife, and she probably laugh at this, but I ask her questions all the time. You know, I try to keep myself up. I work out and everything, and, you know, just try to make sure I'm in shape and look like something. And I asked her, I'm like, you know, you like what you see? Just being straight up honest, because you want to know that the person opposite of you want to know that they're actually enjoying you. And if it's something about you, you got to have thick skin enough to take whatever it is. If you plan to have a life with this person, you got to be able to take what they say with thick skin and be able to make the adjustment. I haven't talked enough on that particular subject. If you want to address some of the other things.
I guess one thing I was going to say, like, if I really love, just say for instance, if he was shouting out like and trying to get the attention for me to rub his ego, and the option was to give him what he desires from me, like give it to him or allow him to go to someone else to get it versus losing my husband, I would just do the necessary things to be like, if he wants to feel like a king, I personally don't have a problem making him feel like a king, because I know he treats me like a queen. So to me, it's like, if he came to me and he said, you know, babe, I want you to treat me like a king. I want you to rub my ego. I would have no problem.
But most people aren't going to say that.
But I'm just telling you from my perspective. That's the reason why I am saying. Yeah. Because I know how he treats me. I would have no problem, you know, reciprocating the same thing to him, what he gives to me. Because I do think of him as my king of this household. And I do believe he think of me as his queen. So that's just me. If it was something that was like a desperate cry to save our marriage, I would personally like do the extra, that's just me though, extra step to kind of like see if that would change anything in him, if that's what he desires. And if it doesn't change anything, then maybe it's something, another element that's missing that he's looking for.
Yeah, so that it makes me think about, there's this thing I heard about Bishop T.D. Jakes was saying, you could be with, I noticed here, we still on the same question. I noticed they're saying they've been together, or they've been married for,
they've been together
yeah, for 21 years.
Married 18.
Sometimes you can be so used to what a person was that you don't realize who they've become. Whether it's him or whether it's you, or, you know, you can be so used to, one of the things we have to constantly kind of come back to the table with each other is kind of make sure we're in tune with, okay, this is not, even though it's the same person physically, you know, most of the things are still the same. It's a lot of things that's different though from college.
Yeah.
Not the same mindset. So I can't keep accusing her of stuff, or she can't keep accusing me of stuff that I done when we were dating, or stuff that we were doing when we were in college, when we had more baby minds, really immature minds. It's like you have to constantly be learning that person that you're with and understand and realize that, okay, this person is grown. This person is changing. Yeah. Sometimes it ain't growing, it's just they're changing. And figure out, if you can, get to the root of, okay, why are we drifting apart? Like, what is it about us? Why is it that he felt like he needed to go over here? And I was gonna say on that tip of some of the stuff that was going on, it seems like a lack of self-discipline. And one of the things about it, you're not gonna be able to change that person. If a person is you've communicated after everything I said, you're like, well, I've communicated to this person, I don't like this. And if they keep doing it, that's a lack of self-discipline on your part. And you don't carry the guilt that I must have did something wrong. I must have been doing this. I must have been doing it. Of course, we all want to stay in that posture where we're constantly checking ourselves. We're constantly checking our own actions to make sure that we're not doing anything to cause problems. But in the same sense, that shouldn't be anything to give people an excuse to try to hurt you or to try to do anything to you. So, that's just my thoughts on that, just making sure you're kind of staying aware of each other in that regard, so you don't get too used to the same.
Yeah, and I think I said that in the first video.
Yeah.
Of don't try to change the other person. If you work and you focus on trying to change you, if that mate is a good mate, then they will try to come up to your level, to the level of growth that you're growing. Especially if they see that you're doing things for them. Mm-hmm. Yes. You want to go move on to the second?
I was going to see somebody had a comment here. Okay. We should always look at ourselves before we point the finger at the person you are with. It's a two-way street. Marriage is about being a servant to each other. Yep. I totally agree, Stephen. I totally agree, man. And it's just, I couldn't have said it any better. It's a growing process, and I said it in a video, a few days ago, talking about just the whole process of the way that the marriage works. Is always changing, because when you get in a marriage, how can you expect somebody to know all these different things about you or to get everything right? And you said this in your, you said this, and you don't even know yourself. Like, you don't even know what you like. There's sometimes, my wife asks me certain things when it comes around to my birthday. What you want to do for your birthday? It's like, I don't really. I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea what I want to do. I know what I don't want to do, but sometimes I don't know what I want to do when it comes to celebrating myself.
Never know.
I don't know. And so I make that example to say, if I don't even know myself what I want, how I want to be celebrated, how can I expect for her to know exactly how I want to be celebrated if I don't even know? So the same thing coming into a marriage, we have all these expectations that the other person doesn't know about. And if you're not communicating these expectations to them and they're not communicating the expectations to you, you're living with a stranger.
Yeah.
Basically, you're living with a stranger. And so if they come in contact with somebody else, especially if y'all are always butting heads, y'all are always arguing, and they're coming into contact with somebody who actually listens to them when they talk. If you don't listen, if y'all do more bickering than talking and listening to one another, and not just saying, we been guilty of this, not just listening so I can wait for you to get through so I can
come back.
So I can have a comeback.
I need him to hurry up. I'm coming back with something good.
Like, you saying something, as soon as you get through, though, I got something for you. Yeah, I got something. Not coming back with that sense, but like actually listening. And I had to do this.
To understand.
Yeah, listening to understand, because and this is a transparent moment, one of the key words in our arguments was always, and you don't understand me.
Yeah.
From both sides. It was always
the word always.
You don't understand me. And what was that book we were reading that it taught us not to use?
Is it Is it the love
it's the
and
green.
respect?
You got it? You know
Is
that
it
book
that,
yet?
is it the
Did
book?
you let somebody else use that book?
No, right?
You can go see it.
I think it's this one.
So while she's looking at that book, it's a book we were reading. If we got the book, I'll show y'all what the book is. But it's a book about love and respect, and it was telling us about words not to use in marriage. Always, never. Those two words. It might have been another word, but
Are you sure it's not this?
I don't know if it was that book. It was talking about the pink and blue goggles.
Oh, that's this book.
That's this book. What is this?
I took the cover off of it because it's technically pleasing sitting on my counter.
Love and Respect. That's the name of the book. Who is this? Who's this guy? Dr. Emerson Eggrichs. However, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You hear me? Yeah, that's the book. So y'all check that out.
One thing we did.
Did we ever finish that book though?
We did not.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing we do, because the thing is, we buy so many books, and it's hard to get through a book when you're trying to apply it.
Well, when we're reading it together too.
Yeah, we are. And the thing we try to do is like throughout our even dating, we try to do a lot of books about couples that, you know, we did devotions together. And then when we got married, we did a lot of marriage books, and then we have books separately from each other. I'm hoping they don't come down upstairs.
Yeah, Ellie probably gonna come and bomb this interview.
I hope she don't, because
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we definitely, like you said, did a lot of books, and that helps because you can assume you just know it all and got everything figured out. Now, I was one that, and I'm telling myself, I hated to read. I know a lot of you guys that follow me on other channels and stuff, you hear me talking about reading now, but I was an advocate, non-reader.
Yeah.
Like
I would read, and we're like, "Come on, babe, let's read together." He'd be like,
yes. I did not want to read. Seriously, she would be the one always trying to get us to read
together
stuff, and I did not want to read.
I wanted growth. I wanted to, because I'm gonna be honest with you. When he's like my first. You're really my first boyfriend, because I never really had a boyfriend. Because the other thing was not even.
That's just. On me. Let's focus on me.
He's my first boyfriend, and I didn't even know how to be a girlfriend, alone be somebody's wife. And so I was like, I don't want to mess this up, because my mom and dad is divorced, and so I'm like, and I was so nervous that I'm gonna mess this up. He's not gonna want to be with me, because I knew I had problems, because I'm a human being, and I knew that I'm not perfect, and I was like, oh. And so I was looking for something always to try to find something that's gonna help me become a better wife, because that was my goal. I wanted to be a better wife to him, because I didn't have a really good blueprint growing up of what marriage was. When I was younger, I remember being in the 5th grade, and they told us what you want to do when you got older, and we had to draw a picture about it and everything. And I was like, well, I want to make a lot of money, so when my husband leaves me and my kids will be okay. And that's like in 5th grade was my idea of life in the future. And now, being a little bit more mature in my mind, didn't know why my parents were divorced and all the other things. I knew that I didn't want that for myself. And so I did the necessary things to try to change who I needed to be, because I didn't know in terms of being a child versus being a mature woman, and being the person I know that I needed to be his helpmate, versus just being a woman or being, a child or whatever you want to call it. No. I wanted to be a mature adult that knew how to handle this thing, because I thought marriage as something serious. I didn't want to just play with it like, oh, when I'm tired of him, I could just throw him away. It was not like that for me. So I wanted to make sure I gave it my all. And so that was my attempt to do what I could do for our marriage. Yeah.
Yeah, and all of that being said, at that point, I still didn't want to read. I mean, all that.
Well, I didn't explain that to you. That was like my own mindset,
Yeah, and getting back to the because I really feel bad about the couple that's going, or the few couples that's going through this and that's considering divorce. Yeah, we hear noises upstairs, and so we just waiting to see who walks in.
Well, I know the older two are not coming down, but the younger one.
We're just waiting to see if she walks in.
Okay.
But one of the things you hear, she's calling out. I see y'all teaching at Young Adult Conference is coming. Awesome teaching.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. One of the things that what was I saying? Because she making me lose my.
Yeah.
Elliot's making me lose my train of thought.
You feel bad.
I feel bad about, teamwork, because I definitely forgot what I was talking about. I really feel bad about couples that are facing that, and we've never got to the point, well, you know that don't mean nothing, of divorce, where we actually discuss, hey, it's over. Now, we both have gotten to the point, like, look, I'm done. And for me, it lasted probably, 5 minutes, if that. You know, where the thought crossed your mind. So I don't want to give off this perception that we have everything together and we have the perfect marriage and all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, we both enjoy one another.
Yeah.
We both have gotten to a place in our relationship that we know how to enjoy one another, and we have learned and are still learning how to enjoy the moment.
It's a continual growth.
It's a continual growth. And one of the things I was going to say about that is, you mentioned this in I'm piggybacking off your video.
Stealing off of it.
So one of the things, you have to leave room, back to this couple, you have to leave room for mistakes. That don't say continue to allow this person to do you wrong, but I meant what I said in that video. Like, this is a covenant. A covenant. It's a never-ending covenant. And it says for better or for worse. Of course, modern day, we've made stipulations to that, and you know, people define what worse is, and well, if they're doing this and if they're doing that. I say, you know, if you're not in a situation where you're fearing for your life, you know, and that person, you know, if they're committing adultery and they're going out and sleeping around with all these different people, of course, that's a whole nother thing. But if it's something that's more, something that y'all can actually work through, I'd say before you give it up and throw it away, like, figure out, is there any hope for this situation? Is this something that we can actually talk through? We had some situations in our personal marriage that really affected us, and that really, some things that came from me that really hurt my wife. And fortunately, she didn't decide to leave me, you know, and throughout the relationship, things are going to come up, whether it's dating, whether it's through marriage, and things like that. And they're not always adultery related, but it still hits the same way. It still hurts the same way. I get it, when a person feels disrespected, or they feel belittled, or whatever word you want to use to describe it, it can make you think like, okay, I guess I'm not enough for this person and they must want somebody else. When sometimes you have to, one, get to the root of the problem. That's what I would say. Get to the root of why this thing is happening. Why is this person stepping out and looking for validation in other places instead of looking for it from you? Why is this person ignoring you and continuing to talk to these other people? Sometimes you may come to find out that this thing ain't even got anything to do with you personally. They might be crazy about you and have no idea how to communicate that. Like you were saying earlier, you had no blueprint for marriage. And if a person has come from a family where they've been exposed to stuff way too early, or they've seen things that they shouldn't have seen, or they've been around or just seen broken home, and that's all they know, they don't know how to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing that they're trying to be evil or anything like that. Some people need help in that area, and they need grace in the area to help them grow and to help them to get better. Y'all hear that? Help them to grow and to get better. So you might have to extend that grace before you throw the towel in. You know, that's my
communication. It really all boils down to sitting down and communicating your feelings and letting each person know, like, lay everything out on the table and say, this is what I'm dealing with, and then the other person can basically lay their feelings down and get to some kind of agreement. Why is my child up there crying?
Yeah. When you have children too, that definitely adds. Let's see, we got another little segue. That definitely adds another dynamic to the relationship. You want to go in?
We're gonna have to go to the next question.
She's coming down.
You can go ahead and read it.
You can give me this.
Read it and I'll read it.
I'm gonna read really, really slow. And while we're waiting, if anybody, I see some more people have jumped on. I seen like 2 people shout out where y'all were from, and I seen Fayetteville, North Carolina was on, and somebody else gave where they're watching from. I love to hear where some more of you guys who are tuned in. I see we have a few more people on. I love, while I'm waiting on my wife to come back, I really don't want to jump into this question without her. But Cincinnati, Ohio, Gabrielle, I see you. Who else we got on? Let me see here. But this marriage thing is really Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Miss Sheila, I see you. And who else we got on here? Where y'all watching from? I know some of y'all might be driving. Some of y'all be watching YouTube while y'all driving. Y'all know that's illegal. And I'll be doing it myself. But this marriage thing is something serious, especially in the field that I do. Musicians, I don't know how many musicians we got on here, but man, I see so many cats just give up on this marriage thing. And my little word before I jump into this next question, if you're thinking about getting married, make sure that the person, if you're in music or if you're a dreamer or something like that, make sure that the person you're marrying understands where you stand. Even if you're working like a 9 to 5 right now, make sure that that person knows your intentions. Make sure that person has an understanding of where you're headed in you all's marriage, and they don't think you're just going to be stuck at some job waiting on retirement. If you have dreams to do something and dreams to do things big, you should talk to that person. If you're considering marriage, especially for you guys who's watching in the replay, you should definitely talk to that person and let them know your dreams, and you should watch how they respond to your dreams. And if they immediately start trying to talk you out of what you're thinking and what you're talking about doing, that's not a good sign.
Unless it's Robert Banks.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if it's something crazy that you know, like, bruh, really? But if it's something like, I've been a dreamer since we got married. Unfortunately, I keep my word as to what the things I want to do. And my wife supports me in my decisions and the decisions that I make for our family. But if you got somebody and you tell them your dream, however crazy it is, they either laugh at you. Now, I'm not talking about you married. I'm talking about before you get married. They laugh at you or tell you, oh, that ain't going to never happen. They don't give you any encouragement. That might be one of your signs that, hey, I might, And people do change. People do later become open to stuff once they see you making the action. Now, if you're a person, you never put any effort into doing anything, and you just talk about all the stuff you're going to do, but you never do anything, that's a completely different situation. Some of y'all are married to folks like that. They talk about all the stuff they're going to do, but they never actually put any feet to anything that they're talking about. So, of course, when you say, hey, I'm going to do this, going to do that, that person is going to probably look at you like, yep, really? That's what you're going to do? So I would just say just be mindful if you're thinking about getting married and you are a creator or a dreamer or somebody who has big goals, big dreams, make sure you put that stuff out front.
Yeah.
Don't spring that on people. I'm telling you, don't spring that. Thankfully, we were talking about all this stuff that we're doing now years ago.
Yeah. Before we even
I was
married.
giving her all this stuff that, someday I'm going to do this, someday I was going to do that. And likewise, we were talking and sharing dreams, sharing hopes, sharing goals and all that stuff. And, make the main thing the main thing. So,
Did you finish this question?
I didn't touch it.
You didn't. You was waiting on me.
Yeah, I was waiting on you because I didn't want to jump into the
Okay,
question.
go ahead.
And we had some people that jumped in. We got Cincinnati. We got Miss Gabrielle from Cincinnati. And we got Miss Sheila from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And I don't know who else we got watching. Everybody else didn't say nothing. So anyway, we wanted to shout those people out. Anyway, so this other question. I'm going to let you start it. Once I read it, you're going to kick this one out.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope with the last question, I hope we were able to provide some. And throughout this video, we'll keep sharing some stuff that maybe you can take away. But this next person says, hey, I just finished your husband's video on marriage. Now I'm watching yours. Talking to my wife, my husband and I are not getting along. I'm no longer attracted to him. He nags excessively about everything, and we argue every day. When we got married, I felt extremely pressured and rushed. I feel like I'm living in God's permissive will instead of what he wants me to do. I don't know how to fix this.
Well,
I talked a lot already, so praise God.
That is like your natural thing, That's your natural ability.
Come on, Elder Morgan.
That's what God gave you.
Sister Morgan, come on.
Okay, so when I was reading this first time, the first thing I thought about, for a woman to say I'm no longer attracted to him, it makes me think that, I don't know what you're saying.
I mean, we talking.
Okay.
Y'all, you mentioned it.
It makes me think that there is somebody else that you are interested in. When someone says that, it makes me think, you know,
that's not necessarily the case.
That's the first thing that came to mind. Is there another person that you want to be with, that you want this relationship to end because you feel like you will be better suited with this other person? I'm not saying it is, but that's what it feels like to me. It says he nags excessively about everything and we argue every day. Okay, so the question is, he's crying out for something, because most men don't like to talk. So if he is expressing himself in some way, that he's saying like, hey, I want you to change in this matter. I don't know what the argument's about because it doesn't say, but it makes me think that, okay, because I know, well, you like to talk though.
I am the talker in the relationship.
He is.
Unless it's pillow talk.
I have kids all day. And when we finally get
swipe right,
stop. I like talking to them because I be talking to kids.
Okay, go ahead and finish your point. I don't want you to.
Okay.
I don't want you to lose your point.
So it makes me think that. So the question is he saying something that he wants you to change in yourself, or something that he wants different about the relationship? Because that's something you want to, going back to the last question, having that conversation of what is the problem, the reason why he's having these excessive nagging spouts. Because people normally, if a person don't care about the relationship, they won't say anything. If I don't care, say for instance, you talking about me and you saying something to me, that means that you care about something that I'm doing. You want some kind of change. But most people who don't, if they see somebody like, hey, like people who comment on my videos and telling me negative things about myself, about me, and I'm like, I don't really care, so I just don't respond to it. But for a person who cares, they go back and they respond, and they, whatever. Does that make sense? Okay, so I won't lose it, buddy. I'm not the talker. Go ahead.
Really? You ain't finished with your thought. Go ahead.
I am finished. Basically, I said it.
Basically, you're saying, so if a person is, in essence, if a person is saying something, it's a sign that they actually care. They still care.
Especially for a man, because men don't normally express themselves.
Yeah, and if a dude is nagging, it's obviously something he cares about. And Brother Steven, if you still on here, back me up. Don't leave me out here by myself, man. I don't know if we got any other dudes on here, so you got to let me know if I'm in the game or in the gate right with this one. But if a dude is nagging about something, that must mean he actually cares, and it's something he wants fixed. If we don't nag about it, and I ain't gonna say nag, I don't even like using that term, but if we ain't saying nothing about it and it's a problem, that means we've already settled in our mind that you're not gonna change it.
And I'm not gonna mention it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention it. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do because you're showing me that you're not gonna change it anyway, so why bother even say anything about it? And so dudes, once a dude make that resolve in his mind that it is what it is, we don't keep talking about it.
It's almost like he already left the relationship.
Yeah, it's like once you mentally make that decision not to say anything anymore, it's like I'm checking out. At this point, I'm done with it. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. But if he's saying something about it, I'm giving the male perspective. I don't know if that's how it is for the. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Steven. Appreciate you, man. I don't know if that's the female perspective, but I know for a dude, if we're saying something about it, that means we still expect that there's going to be some change somewhere. But which means if I'm saying something, that's hope that you're going to change it.
Yeah.
And I keep bringing it to your attention because I see the potential that you have to change this particular situation. Thank you, Miss Sheila. But that's just my opinion on that. Yeah. If a dude is saying something about it, he's trying to tell you, like, look, this is a problem, and I want this problem changed. I'm not trying to nag you about it. I'm letting you know I don't like this. So it doesn't turn into a situation where you won't fix it, so I'm gonna go to homegirl over here who don't give me this problem. Since you don't want to fix it, okay, old girl over here, she ain't got this problem, and I won't say nothing to you about it. Don't worry about it. You don't got to fix it. She'll handle it. So if he's bringing it to your attention, there's an opportunity.
Where he's out shouting out, like, come on.
Come on. Like, maybe he's fighting for something that he's given up fighting for.
Yeah.
Perhaps. And
it's like we don't get a lot of information. That's all the information we have is he's nagging. I'm not attracted to him anymore. And I felt pressured to even be married. So
the question is, I'd like to ask this question, and I know I'm not gonna get this answer, but I'd like to know why you're not attracted to him anymore. Did he do something? Did he change physically? Or was attraction ever physical? Or was it mental? Or was it a genuine attraction? Or was it infatuation? You know,
there's so many questions.
There's so many questions like I'd like to know, because just the same way that the attraction went away, the attraction ought to be able to come back. And you have to figure out what made the attraction go. If you're saying, I am no longer attracted to him, that means at some point you were attracted to him.
And why did it change?
Why did it change? If he didn't, you know, just completely change into a different person, and I mean, in terms of physically, what happened? Now, I know sometimes a person, their attitude, I do know that sometimes a person's attitude can make them unattractive. Very, very unattractive. And like you're saying, the nagging maybe is what's adding to that. But I would just say that it seems like a communication thing there.
Yeah.
Unless you've already made the decision to check out and like, you know what, I felt like I was pushed into this. I didn't never really want to get married to you anyway.
Yeah.
And so now I'm kind of looking for a scapegoat to get out. And so, yeah, you're kind of getting on my nerve, and you kind of.
I'm hoping that's not the case. But
I'm hoping it's not, but I'm going off of what I'm reading here.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it could be.
Without this person communicating more to us right now, it's kind of hard.
Now, I will say this, because I know our answers might be coming across a little
harsh.
Might be coming across a little harsh. And if they are, y'all, please forgive us. We're just trying to be honest, because we had to be. Let me say this before we go any further. I commend you people who have commented on these videos and spoke up about your relationship, because that in itself, it speaks volumes. It means
you want change.
You want some change, and perhaps you do want to save the marriage, you know. And so thank you, Miss Gabrielle. We're just trying to be honest, y'all, because I mean, we could get on here and sugarcoat everything.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changed for your marriage, and y'all, it's our hope and our prayer at the end of this that everybody who commented on those videos work through whatever issues that they're going through, and y'all begin to get help, or y'all begin to help one another.
I'm gonna be honest with you, marriage is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
If you work it right, like the connection and all this kind of stuff. It's like I can't even really describe how powerful it can be if you really work together, all three of us, God and us, work together. You can do some wonderful, incredible things, because that's what a team is.
Yeah.
And for somebody to start a team and then just give up in the middle of playing a game, it's like you're not even giving yourself a full shot. You got to play the game.
You got to have more fight than that. I want to hit Stephen's comment before we get too far. Yes, a lot of times it becomes a burden to him where he doesn't have any peace because the actions don't change. Addressing what we were saying earlier, because some
men tuning out.
Yeah, like it becomes a burden. So yeah, I definitely agree, man. But what you were saying, we have to. What were you saying?
Wow.
I forgot that quick. It's been a long day. I've been up since like 3:30 this morning.
Yeah, I've been up since.
There we go. Come on, Ellie, kick it up. Oh yeah. So you were saying what?
I was saying marriage being a powerful thing.
Yeah, marriage being a powerful thing, and raising kids and things. But he coming down the stairs crying and carrying on while you trying to do a video. So
she's two guys.
For all y'all that totally unrelated, y'all be wondering how we put all these videos out. A lot of hard work and effort.
Yes.
I put out videos every week. And
I try to plan. And sometimes for those who see my video and see the little one just come right in the midst of my recording, and it's like, okay, keep it. Yeah, we putting out these videos. It's very, very difficult, and we work really, really hard to make sure we bring quality to you guys. Team, I told you, team.
Bring quality to you guys. But back to what you were saying, man, God created this thing. He created this thing, male and female. He created them. Going back to Genesis, when we join together and we put our minds together, when we create, it's like, I put it like this, we're in one of the toughest seasons of our lives in terms of transition mentally one of the toughest seasons of our lives. And we both need each other from day to day in terms of she might have a day that she's like
on the floor.
Like on the floor, or just like
not literally, but
like just mentally and just spiritually, just like, you know what, I'm drained. I can't do no more. I can't take this mentally anymore. And it's like I gotta be that voice of reason at that time to say, look, no, you got this. You got this. You got this. And it's sometimes it's me. You know, you're hearing all this positive and uplifting information from me, but sometimes I have my days where it's like, you know what, let me just shut everything down and just go in a room and close the door and cut off all the lights and everybody leave me alone. And she's like, nope, you can't do that. You can't do it. But if we weren't on one accord at those moments,
I would agree. Yeah, let's quit.
Or your spouse can be the one that pushes you over the edge in those very, very vulnerable moments when you really need them to be that helpmeet, and y'all are so busy at each other's throat. They say something negative and say the wrong thing, and that, to me, that's what bring about dudes doing just really, really dumb stuff, or women doing really, really dumb stuff, because in that moment where they needed that person to be who they married, we're being so selfish and so self-centered. We say something so insensitive that we completely tear that person down. And those things are the things that cause divorce too. In the moments where you really needed a person to be your voice of reason, they became that voice that you don't ever want to hear again.
They became the enemy.
They became the enemy. And the devil, sorry for the ones who don't believe in God, but this is about to, it is what it is. But the devil uses those things. He uses tactics, and we call them shadow puppets. He uses those things in your relationships, those schemes, those wiles, to try to trick you and to make you feel like this person here is your enemy. Try to make you feel like that person is against you. So, and he'll use your kids too.
Excuse me.
He'll use anything in those vulnerable times. He will literally use anything he can use to try to distract you and try to make you feel like quitting, try to make you feel like giving up. I know a lot of you guys watch our videos of our family, and I know some younger couples, we've even been told by people that came up to us, man, we want what y'all got, man. Y'all have a beautiful family. And we really, really, really sincerely appreciate that from everybody. Y'all have a beautiful family, man. I want what y'all got one day, you know, all this kind of stuff. I've had people to sow money into us because they wanted the type of family that we have, and it's completely flattering. But one of the things I want to say is that this didn't come without a fight. And it's a, you know, I'm not going to say it's a daily fight. The fight now is not fighting for my relationship every day. It's fighting, number one, for my relationship with God. That became more important than me trying to fight to save my marriage, because once we individually started really fighting to save our relationship with God, our relationship with our marriage. I'm not going to say it became easier, but there was less fighting on the tip of, we're trying to fight to save our marriage. We're going to fight to save our marriage. No, fight to save your relationship with God. Don't you notice, like, as we've been like really digging in with our relationship with God, it's like, and I'm not saying that we don't have arguments and we don't bicker from time to time, but that whole fight to save your marriage thing ain't been at the forefront like it used to be. Like, we gonna fight for this thing. It's like, no, you fight.
We've been more and more like on one accord and more at peace. I mean, we, like you did say, we have, but they're like so tiny.
Yeah, it's like very, you know what I'm saying? It's very small. So I'm not saying don't fight for your relationship, because you hear everybody saying, I'm fighting for my relationship. But if you're not careful when fighting for your relationship, you end up fighting one another. I'm serious. You'll be so busy trying to fight. And what you doing fighting? I'm like, no, fight to save your relationship with God.
Yeah.
Because ultimately,
it goes back to what I said earlier on the other video about if you focus on improving you and changing you, you don't have time to point fingers at the other person, because you look in the mirror and be like, man, you got mess all over your face. You trying to tell him that he got mess on his face. Clean your face first. Then you can clean somebody else's face.
Yep. And then God, in that, he'll start convicting you of stuff that now your partner doesn't have to come every single time and bring this to your attention, or y'all got to get in some heated argument. And then once you finally calm down, they tell you, well, y'all done argued for 4 hours or 4 days or however long y'all argued. And then they come back, well, I didn't like the fact that you said you didn't like my shoes. It'll be something random that now when you're more in tune with the Holy Spirit, you're more in tune with God, he'll bring that to your attention quickly.
Like, what are we fighting about?
Yeah, or like, I remember my thing with her. Here's Ellie.
Okay.
My thing used to be with her is I feel like she would put a wall up when it came to like when we had an argument. I get that. I'm talking about that whole. I get that whole Mason's wall, and she wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah.
And it would drive me nuts when she wouldn't like communicate with me. She wouldn't talk to me because men, we're wired to fix stuff. And you see who joined the live? We're wired to fix stuff. And my thing is, okay, I want to know why you're mad. I want to know what's the problem so I can fix it. That's my mindset. I want to fix it. And her approach at the time was like, leave me alone. I want to be left alone. My thing, no, I want to fix it. No, I want to be left alone. No, I want to fix it. And so I pushed and pushed and pushed trying to fix the problem till I made the problem worse. And her thing is shut down. Mine is turn up because you're not talking to me. So I'm going to keep knocking. I'm going to keep knocking until I beat the door down, until I literally almost beat the door down to where it's like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. You're pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. So I had to learn to kind of start backing off and giving her space and trying to understand where she was coming from. And it's like, it seems like the more I started to back off instead of keep beating and beating and beating at that wall that she put up, the more I backed off and started changing the tone of my voice and how I'm talking to her, even though I'm mad. It's like me changing the tone of my voice or changing something about my approach. Because my thing is like, that don't even make sense. Why are you doing this? Why are we doing it? You know, I'm trying to make everything make sense.
Through your blue goggles.
Through my blue goggles instead of trying to be open. Trying to be open to her pink goggles. That's a reference from that book. Trying to understand her perspective, because when we mad, we only trying to understand each other's, our own perspective. I don't care about what your perspective is. I want you to know why I'm mad at you and vice versa. So they say, Ellie looking like you talking about. Yeah, this is the normal Ellie right here. So it kind of, once I pull back and start really honing in, like the few years that I've been really honing in on myself, and likewise, as she's been doing it for herself, it's like certain things are brought to our attention a lot quicker. Yeah. I don't have to say as much stuff to her. She don't have to say as much stuff to me. Like, it'll hit me now within a few minutes. Most of the time, it'll hit me within a few minutes, and I'll try to come back, because my thing I struggled with was would you say I wasn't affectionate? Yeah. I'm a dude, like, obviously.
There are some dudes that are affectionate.
Well, yeah, there are some dudes that are affectionate, but like my mom didn't, like, we didn't get the whole, just kind of how my mom was raised. We didn't get the whole, oh, it's gonna be okay, babe. We didn't get all that. We didn't get the affection shown to us, me and my brother. It was no girls in my house growing up. So naturally, when it came to her and her problems or her issues, I had to, like, I mean, really? You crying about that? Like, you know, just get over the approach. Which
you weren't that bad, but
I mean, I lack affection, and as God began to deal with me over the years, I started kind of working in those areas. I'm still not the most affectionate person on the done talking. Praise God. So I'm gonna turn the floor back over to you.
What?
And
you see how you just did that?
Huh?
You see how you?
I'm gonna turn the floor back over to you. I feel like I'm talking too much.
But that's a good thing.
Is that a good thing, guys?
You're the speaker.
Am I talking too much? Y'all can be honest with me. I got thick skin. But yeah, so I mean,
we have another question.
We didn't finish.
I think
we finished all the questions.
No, we have another question.
What was the other question?
The other one is a little more interesting.
What was the other question? We got one more question that we're gonna read. Now, if y'all got some questions, y'all better chime in. Our kids getting restless.
Yeah.
No, you were not talking to. Well, thank you. Thank you, naturally gorgeous.
I told you he's not talk. Can I talk? I told you not talking too much.
Meanwhile, so what was it? Okay, somebody said I would like some examples of intimacy. Please, Who is that? You are supposed to talk in a live session. Well, come on here. Thank you. I appreciate that. I would like some examples of intimacy, please, from you both and your husband's perspective. In the beginning,
it was you and your husband.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. In
the
it
beginning,
was so
it was
go ahead.
so easy, and after 10 years, when you actually have to put in the work, I'm drawing a blank.
I'm gonna let you start.
What?
They said from you and
your husband,
which means
some examples of intimacy. Now, I need you to go upstairs.
Yeah, go upstairs. Grown folk talk. Go take your presses upstairs with Yaya and Buddy. And you see how she going?
Go upstairs, okay?
Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll see you.
Go upstairs.
Go with Yaya and Buddy.
Okay.
Let's see how long this lasts.
Okay.
Go on up there with Yaya and Buddy. Go get the computer.
Okay.
We'll see you.
Thank you. Okay, she's not going upstairs.
Yeah, it's all right, as long as she's just gonna leave out here for a second.
Okay.
We got about 3 minutes. Okay, go in there with your iPad.
Bye-bye. Okay, example of intimacy. First, I want to say, and we're not leaving. What is intimacy, Daddy? Can you give me a definition of intimacy first?
Intimacy.
Really?
That's what Bishop Jake said.
He did. I asked you for your.
My definition of intimacy. Well, my definition of intimacy would be getting to know the person beyond the surface. And intimacy could be comprised of more than just the obvious intimate thing. It's like, because I learned this from my wife, like, because, men, if my dudes that's still watching, when we think intimacy, y'all already know, one thing that your mind go to. She going to get a chair?
No, she's trying to watch the computer.
Oh, she's trying to watch that computer. So as a guy, we think we kind of one-dimensional when it comes to intimacy. Like, I'm looking for some intimacy. Oh, okay, cool, I got you. But when it comes to the female, as I learned my wife's perspective of intimacy, it kind of began to open my mind on what all that can consist of, and it helped me to stop making it so deep. Because as you have kids, and some of you guys that have been married for a little while, as you have kids and kids are introduced in the relationship, especially with us living so far away from family, so far away from all this stuff, and we're always around our kids, that intimacy thing started to kind of get, we went from like when we were first married, taking vacations all the time, always traveling and doing different stuff, to like having kids and not going nowhere, like except like once or twice a year, that kind of thing. So for me, as I was learning intimacy, those trips and those getaways, I love quick getaways. Those were intimate things that I enjoyed doing. But I learned for her quality time. After I learned that's one of her love languages were quality time, and part of intimacy is being able to speak your partner's love language in a way that they understand.
Yeah.
And so examples.
What we do.
You want to say?
Is once all the kids are in the bed, we try to get them in the bed at a decent amount of time.
You can get a background of that, or you just gonna go?
What do you mean?
How we got into that, the whole what we do.
We started doing it because we didn't have babysitters. So when we want to go somewhere, we had
couldn't do movie nights no more.
Babies, because we, obviously we have 3 kids.
Going to the movies.
Going to the movies or going out to eat. Because I remember one Valentine's Day you went and got food because we didn't have babies.
Pregnant, right?
No, we had a newborn.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
You had to go get food, and we made a candlelight dinner. We put the baby to bed. Around that time, my baby was sleeping throughout the night most of the time. And we just enjoyed each other's company, with candlelight and little sparkling cider.
No, yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all one of my little dudes. I'm gonna tell y'all one of my little secrets too. I gotta flaunt it. What you call it? I gotta do my little drip or whatever. What's the young folks saying now? I gotta show off one of my little things I did. But
oh, that one night. Well,
you gonna tell it?
No, but you can.
So you didn't finish what we said we were doing, the movie night.
I was trying to.
I'm sorry. You see what I'm saying?
It's okay. I love you to hear you talk. I do. When I'm married, I just want to you your family got the show. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Julie. We appreciate that.
Thank you. So somebody else coming downstairs? One of the things that we like to do is, because like I said, I love quality time. There are some times we'll sit on the couch, we'll watch a movie, and we'll get cuddled all up in the, and to me that's intimacy. It doesn't always have to be what he was talking about earlier. It's just, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? I guess nothing wrong with that, but having just that connection where you just feel like you have the other person's attention. That was what I really desired out of him. And there are times where we would do bubble baths and we just soak in the bubble bath, you know, with candles and everything like that.
Now, if you don't have, let me
What's funny?
I'm just saying, because we got ways in marriages we can ruin moments. So if dudes, if you know you work a 9 to 5, like a serious.
Why are you talking about that?
I'm just saying, if you,
I think that's self-explanatory.
Sometimes it's not.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, if you know you work a serious 9 to 5, you done put in some hard hours, it might be necessary you go take a quick shower before y'all do the bubble bath, you know, because that's, you know, you making coffee in the tub could kind of ruin can ruin the whole vibe, you know what I'm saying? So you might need to jump in the shower just real quick, you know, and then do the bubble bath thing. That way you don't completely ruin the moment. Cause
with your aroma,
I'm just saying, I'm trying to help you out. I'm doing this for you.
Well, we appreciate that.
I'm doing this for you. I'm just saying, you be thinking we don't know. Like a lot of us, everything ain't common sense for everybody. So folks just, you know, we have to be told something. Some of us.
We don't really watch a lot of television. We don't even have.
We don't got no TV.
We got TVs. We have TVs, but obviously we do.
Cable or nothing like that.
We do stream some movies here and there. That's what we do at night.
That's our wind down and intimate time.
Or there may be times we might just talk. And we wind up talking about something that happened that day, something we read. Or there are times during the day that we do that same thing.
Yeah.
But another thing in terms of what she said, she had to put in the extra work. One thing when we're talking about the other intimacy, when you're actually getting to know each other biblically, is so you won't make it so awkward, like, because there's no warm up or anything like that. When throughout the day, even through text, if you're not seeing each other throughout the day, is you're slowly heating up the oven throughout the day by the way you talk to each other, the way you interact with each other when you see each other. That also helps to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make it that much more exciting at the end of the day or whenever you guys are going to connect. It's actually having those little moments of playfulness towards the end of your night.
Oh, what's going on out there?
They're fighting.
Another thing, a simple thing you can do, compliment one another. I mean, a simple compliment. You'll be surprised. Dudes, we like compliments too. So just a simple compliment makes the world of difference. Like to make a dude, you know, just kind of, you know, we like to feel good too in terms of knowing that you're interested and knowing that you're still attracted. You know, dudes, like you ain't gotta wait till Valentine's to do the flowers and all that kind of stuff. I haven't done this in a while. I'm overdue.
What?
Like simply bringing home some flowers every now and again.
That's nice, but that's not what I really care about.
I mean, but you got to make sure that the person, I don't do it.
Because it's not my love language.
Yeah, but I used to, when we were dating, little things like that.
When we were dating.
I would do little, but I figured out things that she was interested in and I started, you know, doing other things that I know she liked. So instead of getting flowers, I'm like, I know it means more to her. If I've been gone all day or if I've been in the studio, if I've been working and doing whatever I'm doing, and I call her if I'm gone from the house, hey, you want to do a movie tonight? She get excited about that. A red box. A red box
Simple
movie.
Pleasures.
Simple pleasures.
Simple pleasures.
Listen,
people.
I get a red box. I get some Lay's potato chips or some whatever, or a bowl of fruit or something simple, and bring that home. We sit on the couch and watch a movie. I'm in there. I'm just saying. So it's just something. Was that naturally gorgeous said? That's me too.
Once you figure out, that's why finding your love language is so important. Because once you know what the other person wants,
yeah,
it makes it so much more easy.
Adesania, if I said her name right, she says you were connected. That's intimacy. And so, yes, that's definitely intimacy. So it can be, don't skip over. So to answer that question, just some examples. I mean, you can be as creative as you want. It just depends on how far y'all trying to go. You know, when
we try and keep it peaceful.
I'm talking about when they get to their own little place, you know, y'all decide what, you know.
You remember the note that I gave you?
Which one?
The note that I put on your phone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Little stuff like that. Little playful little.
What did I say?
Huh?
What did I say?
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to tell people what you said. That's grown folk business. Don't tell them folk what you said. So, listen. So, it's that little
they
stuff.
They want examples.
She left me.
It was not my own idea, though.
It
was not my original. It was an original idea. I got it from another married woman.
So she left a note on. I constantly, because of what I do, I'm constantly on my phone. So it was a note on my phone was laying on the counter. I don't know what I was doing, and I came over there and I picked my phone up. So there's a note on the phone.
A sticky note.
A sticky note on the phone, and it said, basically, instead of turning my phone on, won't you come and turn me on? So
come and turn me on instead.
Yeah, won't you come and turn me on instead? So. Well, okay, touche. I see you. Okay, I see your chess game over here you got going. So little stuff like that. It's just little simple stuff. All right, so Julie Graham, I'm from Washington, D.C. The one thing I love about your family, teaching your children the values of loving God and loving themselves, that is so awesome. And your children remember scriptures. Thank you so much, Julie. I really, really appreciate that. She does a great job with teaching them the scripture of the week.
Well, it started being a scripture week, but I started teaching them. If you at the house, you're going to learn something.
Yeah, you're going to learn something. And
that's how I am.
And the way that we do with our kids now, and this is even part of marriage, like dudes, fathers, and this wasn't even original to me. I got this from Dr. Miles Monroe. Like, we as fathers, if you're around your house, and I don't know the situation you got, maybe you're not with your kids, but it's your responsibility to make sure that they have the word. And my wife, for the longest, I got to give it to her, she was basically taking the lead in that area and making sure that our kids knew the word up until, about a year ago. And, like, I didn't have a problem with it because I was always doing my thing, and I didn't really, to be honest, I didn't think anything about it.
As long as the kids was getting
Yeah, I'm like, they're getting the word, so that's fine. She's teaching them the word. She's doing a great job. So, hey, it is what it is. Like, I would go downstairs, I'll be doing my workout, and I'll be, at the time we was living in another house, I'll be reading my word and reading my books and doing all this kind of stuff. And the word was always coming from her. In terms of learning the scriptures, learning about God, it was always coming from her. It was never coming from me, but they would always tell me once they learned a new scripture or something like that, they would tell me,
this is what we learned.
Yeah, this is what we learned. And then I got convicted. I watched a lot of videos by Dr. Miles Monroe. He just kind of took me to some scriptures in the Bible where he was talking about how we as men are to raise up our children in the word and teach them the word. If we're going to be the head of the household, we got to take accountability for our family and make sure that our family is, well taught and learning the word. And I'm like, they're not too young to learn. Obviously, they've been saying scripture of the week since they were like 2 years old, 1 and 2 years old.
Yeah.
So I just told her, and I communicated with her because I didn't want her to feel like I was trying to step on her toes and take that away from her. So what we did as we communicated, I was teaching exclusively for a while, and I wanted to make sure that she was involved in it. So what we initiate every morning, we've been doing this for about a year now almost.
Yeah.
We've been doing family devotions, and what we do is early in the morning we get up. I mean, granted,
you get family devotion before you, but it's
full family full family devotion. I'll get my little guitar out, and if you don't play music, that's fine. But we'll sing songs. They pick like 1 or 2 songs. We'll sing songs, and we'll teach them. I'll find a passage of scripture, or we'll swap days, and she'll teach a scripture one day. But we make sure as a family that that's a regular thing, because we want to create a culture in our house of studying the word. So, and we teach them not only the word, we're teaching them how to pray. we're teaching them principles and how to apply these principles, and just teaching them things that are going to help them and move them forward, because obviously this is a family of believers, and if that's what we want to be instilled in them, we can't wait until they get to age where they don't really care about it. It has to be something that's natural and normal for them regularly, and both of us were brought up by being taught the word at early ages.
My whole thing was getting them prepared for war.
Yeah, that definitely.
Because the devil doesn't care, the enemy doesn't care how old you are. As long as you're old enough to understand, I'm gonna give you something that's gonna prepare you to battle. Because even at the age they are, you're like, well, what kind of war can they be in? They have battles in their minds all the time. Just because you don't see them or they're not expressing it to you doesn't mean they're not thinking things that they're pondering, that the enemy's attacking them constantly. So,
especially young.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is getting the seeds in there, and once the seed is in there, you just water. Just do what you can to water this. Yes, put your feet down. Do what you can to just water that seed, and eventually God is going to let it grow how He wants it to grow.
Bye-bye. We'll see you. Bye-bye. You can go up there with Yana and Jonathan. Well, guys, we wanted to just get on here and just share some of these ideas and some of our thoughts based on the questions. We thought about doing it in a video, but it was like, I would rather get on here and just kind of talk. Please let us know, even if you're watching in the replay, your thoughts about this video, if there's something that you guys would like to see us do kind of regularly. We'd love to get on here and share. The whole purpose of the Morgan's vlog is to try to add value to families and people who hope to maybe one day start a family. If we can do anything as, dare I say, minorities, is model what a godly family looks like. Because to be honest, I'm not saying there's not a lot of minority families, because there are a lot of great families out there, but that's out in the forefront,
shining their light.
Yeah, you don't see it. It's like, it's almost like a unicorn. Like you hardly ever see it out in public, and people, unless it's a celebrity family, people are not modeling that and not really showing and not really giving true examples for our people. And this is not exclusive to minorities, but we definitely want to make sure that we're showing, the real. This is who we are. This is what we are, and thanks be to God, not by anything that we've done. We work really hard, but God has blessed us to have a really healthy marriage and a really healthy family. And our goals, along with some other personal goals that our family has, one of our goals is to try to empower married couples and empower young people who...
Because we talk to married couples all the time. It's just not online. It's just one-on-one. Because tons of them ask questions to us all the time.
Yeah, we realized, I think, what the biggest thing about it, because it was your idea to start the family vlog, we constantly kept getting asked questions about our family. As our family started to grow, people wanted to know more and more about our family, and like people that personally knew us wanted to know more and more about our family. We always get compliments. I mean, since Yana got here as a baby, we would always get compliments on our family.
People just watching us, and I thought it was kind of
And they were watching us before we had kids. And so...
I'm sitting here like, creepy.
Yeah. So it was really, I'll be honest, for me, it was really uncomfortable to start putting vlog videos out, because I really didn't want to open. I'm very private.
I'm more private than he is.
So contrary to what you see with all these videos,
but I felt the two reasons, and I think I expressed this in a few videos, that I wanted something to leave behind for our children because they're young, and I want them to see what their lives were like when they were young. And the other part of it is I wanted to encourage someone else that were going through the same things we may be going through. Go upstairs. Yeah? No? Okay. So trying to, not that we're gonna have everything together and be perfect, but that's part of it, is showing where you are, and then seeing the growth from point A to point B all the way up to Z until we, I guess, decide to stop doing the videos. So that was my thing, being a stay-at-home mom. I have people always ask me like, you should write or telling me I should write a book about being a mom. Like,
it's coming.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna make her write. I got some books to write, and I'm gonna make her write some books. Meanwhile, I'm gonna write a book about a little girl. You're gonna open that back up. That doesn't want to sit down. Hey, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to do me a favor.
It's fake.
I need you to do me a favor. You being mean.
Okay.
So, watch this. Come back around to mommy.
Hey.
My safe place. So, yeah, we wanted to put this channel out in a nutshell and share, hopefully, with people. We're not just doing this just because we ain't got nothing better to do, because we've thought many times about shutting it down.
Whitney, yeah, I have contemplated it like
every year.
Probably every
6 months.
5 months, somewhere in there, that, yeah, I can't do this anymore. Especially with the life that I have right now and trying to homeschool and maintain, and then we got this one who's just all over the place. Is a lot. And I keep thinking, I keep thinking to myself, this is my ministry. This is part of my ministry. And I don't want to let God down. That's the biggest thing. It's like, I had with the hair channel, I have all these people watching me just to do my hair. And I'm like, and I don't say anything about Christ. I don't, huh? Okay. There's nothing in there. And so I just wanted to make sure that,
I'll be back.
I just wanted to make sure that at the end of my life, God is going to be pleased with the work that I've done. Not that it's part of my salvation, but we are working to bring other people into the kingdom. And I feel like this is partly my assignment, to help bring people back to God, if that makes sense. By shining your light, but not just throwing Jesus in your face, but just showing how, we are. Hello, Irish, a nice video. Well, thank you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm not gonna try. I did.
Yeah, we were talking, but there were a few comments. Well, we finish your idea.
I've started reading. I know you said it's creepy when they watch you with something new, like shows it daily, and only the Bible they can read. Yeah, that's true.
They don't know what you said.
Well, other people can read it, can't they?
I don't know. So I would love to see more live chats. We'll work on that. God is using y'all for his glory. I hope and we pray that he is. She's like, absolutely. He said, loved it. Gabrielle Davis, I appreciate that. I'm a single mother. I raised my children by myself, taking them to church and teaching them scriptures. My son was 2 years old when he learned 66 books of the Bible, and when I was learning. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome, Julie.
I mean, each little, like I said, it's those seeds that you keep, but you can't just plant the seed. You got to keep watering it, and that's what I'm trying to balance my life every day by providing something for you, and then also maintaining, my embassy, per se. But we don't have to go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But anyway, like I said, we hope that y'all have enjoyed this video and you've gotten something out of it. And
thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Those who came on and joined us
and chatted with us. It's good to finally talk to some of you people.
Even though we're talking.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's good. It's always good. The lives are always really cool, and some of my people.
I've never did. This is like my second live. Yeah. Because my first live was on the other channel.
I really enjoyed my lives with my guys on my
Tuesdays.
Yeah, my bass lessons channel. Who is that? My children are older, and I had the opportunity to be married. Watching you guys brings me some hope. Yeah, just keep that hope and don't let it go. Don't let it go. Anything. I'm a firm believer that anything is possible, and when we align ourselves for the things that we're hoping for, and we take the necessary steps by preparing our mind, and just it's hope out there. So don't give up.
Believing without doubting.
Yeah.
You'll have what you say.
Have exactly what you say. Be aware of the people who talk to you, and the naysayers and people who can put negative thoughts in your head. Don't pay attention to them. Stay away from them. We're firm believer. You hear the background. Yeah. Y'all know what's happening. Y'all know what time it is. It's getting close to time for bed, and folks is hungry. So Yeah, but it's been a pleasure sharing with you guys today, and I feel bad for the people who had to watch this in the replay because this is long. And we didn't intend to be here this long, but hopefully we gave you guys some tools that you can use. And if you have any other comments, be sure to leave them on this video. And if you haven't seen the 3 tips for growing a marriage video, watch that. And the 3 reasons to stay, watch those 2 videos. That's what the basis of this live was about. So if you have any other comments from the videos, that's something that we didn't cover in this video, please be sure to leave it somewhere, and we'll see the comments, and we'll try hopefully to come back on here at some point soon and do another live video and talk to you guys and give you some tools.
All right. This was fun. All right.
I'm tired.
I am too.
Y'all see these big old...
We got up early this morning.
Sleeping bags under my eyes. But anyway, we out of here.
Okay, I gotta click it. Right here.
2 of these peace signs.
3.
3 of them. We out.